Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans. And of course, Falcon fans. Episode 176 here. One time for the fan, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Google us. Chase is here with us tonight. Got another Terry, not Terry F. Baby, but T-Will is here tonight. Talking Falcons football. Fellas, what's going on with y'all?
Another day.
What's up? A lot to talk about, man. Exciting day coming up tomorrow.
Yes,
we're gonna
sir.
hit on a lot of it, man. Let's get it.
It's definitely an exciting day coming up tomorrow where rumors going to be put to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just tomorrow. I mean, you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. But all this speculation, all this rumor talk, sitting here watching NFL Network right now, they're dropping more rumors, anything to get the juices going. But before we get to that, T-Will, how has your week been? We had a fantastic podcast the other day for our breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Fans are enjoying the podcast, our breakfast podcast, and we have some more special guests coming up on our breakfast for One Time for the Fan soon. But how have you been, T-Will?
Hey man, I can't complain. You know, I'm vertical. You know, the good Lord woke me up this morning, and hey, you know that's all I can ask for. So all is well. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to talking about some Falcons football, man. Me, you, Chase, Bodie, BLB, everybody. We've all been talking about what the Falcons are going to do at the quarterback position for it's been weeks, but it feels like months. So I feel like it's Christmas. I don't know how you guys feel, but I really feel like, you know how you feel the night before Christmas? I'm trying to take y'all back to your childhood. I know we've grown
just
now.
reading the title of the show. Is that what
Right.
it is? Feels like
Exactly.
Xmas
I feel like it's the night before Christmas and I'm 8 years old and I'm wondering what I'm gonna get. That's how I feel about my Falcons tomorrow, man.
Sheesh.
Chase, you know, Jack, I know y'all are excited, man, but I don't even know if I can wait another day, man. I can't wait. So Chase, how you feeling, man? Let's talk about it.
I'm doing good, man. Like you said, it's another day on earth, another day awake, another day alive. So that's always a blessing. Excited for tomorrow, man. A lot of stuff's going to happen. This franchise, the Atlanta Falcons that we know, will be a different team come tomorrow and the days to follow. So a lot of news to come from One Time for the Fan, Dirty Fanatics United, I'm sure Out of Your Falcon Mind, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of stuff that's fixing to pop off, man. A lot of content coming to y'all.
It's going down in a major way. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button. We are almost at 700 subscribers. Yo, Philip Crawford, we're almost at 700. King ATL, we're almost at 700. Dwayne Ruff, we're almost at 700. It takes all of you to get there. Really, we're trying to get to that major mark, which is 1 million, but one day at a time. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button, Falcon fans. And if you can also tell your Falcon friends and tag your Falcons family. It's a lot going on in the NFL. Philip Crawford, he's in the chat with the Rise Up. What will tomorrow bring? We will find out. Bears agreed to terms with safety Kevin Barrett on 2-year contract worth $15 million, and then he gets left the Eagles. He had a small run with the Titans too as well. So Kevin Barrett finds himself another home here. The Bears now grabbing 2 players so far in free agency, or making 2 moves so far. I mean, they got hella cap space, so they're showing a little something. They're showing their hand early. Chase, T-Will, let's go ahead and get straight to it, shall we?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
King of Atlanta supporters in the chat. Can't wait till tomorrow and Wednesday. Falcon fans, we've been waiting for these days and these hours for a while now. But there are some things that we should find out this week, Falcon fans. Hell, there's some things we could find out even tonight, really, by the time the end of this podcast. And of course, I believe Kirk now, the news that he could be meeting with the Vikings tonight, right? And then tomorrow, if, by 12 o'clock, that phone is ringing, right? So we're talking about just a matter of hours where you saw what happened with the Mac Jones situation. We talked about it for a little bit here on the podcast about other quarterbacks who Falcon fans do not want here in Atlanta. Mac Jones is a name. I'm sure Zach Wilson's going to be another name you're going to be hearing here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But Mac Jones traded to the Jaguars to be the backup of Trevor Lawrence, which shows you that even the Jaguars are like, hell, we'll use a former starting quarterback to be our backup. That's
Mhm.
this quarterback class is looking right now with
Mhm.
who we can get and who we can grab. They went ahead and traded for Mac Jones. The Jaguars. We haven't mentioned the Jaguars about any quarterback situation anywhere here.
Mhm.
Trevor Lawrence jobs in jeopardy?
Mhm. That
Oh.
and that's because that's an interesting move, right? To your point, Jack, even though he may be backup for them, he was still a starting quarterback and had a very successful rookie campaign. And some could argue got caught up in the Belichick-ism of the last 3 or 4 years, right? But you got to admit, it's an interesting move, right? Because he could be brought in to be a backup.
Mm-hmm.
That's one scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Another scenario is I wonder if Jacksonville is thinking maybe we trade Trevor Lawrence.
Mm.
Maybe we trade Trevor Lawrence to somebody with the 1, 2, or 3 pick, and we go draft someone. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Doesn't make it real, but that's an interesting move, right? And I say it from the perspective of if they had traded for Zach Wilson, we automatically know Zach Wilson's a backup.
Mhm.
We get it. Mac Jones, however, has had a very successful year in the NFL, and maybe it did go downhill. But I've heard a lot of arguments that said there wasn't a lot of support for him in the later years. And Belichick, as we know, is not the easiest to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So we just don't know what Jacksonville's thinking right now. It is an interesting move, however, to do the day before free agency launches. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other things that has happened too.
Correct.
The day before free agency, I think Kirk Cousins recently. I mean, they shared some news about him. He signed an extension the day before the free agency, like a couple years ago, and then he signed something else like the day before the free agency. So fans are like, "Oh, we'll get something before midnight from Kirk Cousins." I don't know if we'll get that, but we'll find out by tomorrow. Chase, Kirk, rumors that he might be meeting with the Vikings tonight by 12 o'clock tomorrow. That phone could be ringing. I mean, we're hours away. Is it looking more for you like it is Kurt for the Falcons?
Man, I just simply don't know, Jack. I really don't know what could happen. I would like to say I think it is. We talked about it a little bit this afternoon. Me and Terry did in the chat with the Nate Lemon, signing for the 1-year contract. You still got a Big Bud Dupree signing to do, a Calais Campbell. I just feel like, to me, it just signifies maybe that you are getting ready to pay the bag to somebody in free agency. Nate Lemon, by far, was probably, if not the best linebacker we had on the roster last year. Him and Caden Ellis really held it down there at that position. So
They did.
I felt like you went ahead and locked down Nate Lemon because the last 2 years haven't been too bad, and I think he showed he belongs here in Atlanta.
Correct.
My situation with it is I feel like maybe Nate Lemon's holding out on the bag to help with that signing. Maybe it is a Kirk Cousins. If it's a Kirk Cousins, that high of a statured name, I believe that's one of your first signings. That'll be your early Falcon news, breaking news. Atlanta Falcons have signed Kirk Cousins. That would be your first free agency move if the move's vet, whether that's Russell Wilson, whether that's Kirk Cousins. It's going to happen, I believe, day one of free agency, day two. So, yeah, man, Kirk Cousins, it's looking that way, if you ask me.
Terry, we are hours away from finding out. Possibly, I mean, like Chase said, this could be the first move you make. So we're literally hours away from finding out who our next quarterback could be. There's talks of Justin Fields' trade market in decline right now, as you know, not as popular as people thought it would be, or even Justin Fields thought it would be. So that's something to look at. That's interesting too as well. Baker Mayfield just got the bag.
He got the bag. And shout out to Mateo. I see Mateo in here. Shout out to Mateo.
Big shout, Mateo. Big shout to everybody in the chat. A lot of times, when we're talking Falcons football, we'll just go through the chat so everybody can get their comments on the screen because you know how we love talking with the fan base here. A lot of times we'll read the comments and the questions. We'll use it to help build the content for the channel. A lot of times, we're just in thought and we're just rambling on about the Falcons. So if we do not read your comment on screen. Deeply apologize, but we're moving here. We're moving here. And there's a lot more people that's been added to the chat too as well. It's not where we first started, y'all. We're growing. The channel is growing. And we got a lot more special guests too as well. We got special guests tomorrow night. We got special guests Wednesday. We got special guests next week Sunday. So as you can see, the channel is definitely moving in the right direction. But T-Will, the Justin Fields situation, that maybe might play out if a Kirk Cousins move doesn't happen. Maybe another team moves in for Kirk. Maybe another team moves in for Justin. I hope to not hear any Zach Wilson names to Atlanta anytime soon. But
Jack,
draft is also coming up.
If that is a move that you see, just know you're going to get that rookie quarterback. If you see a Zach Wilson in Atlanta, you're going to draft
without a doubt.
Definitely.
Agreed.
So Cat, don't be
Zach Wilson meets your Gardner Minshew
Facebook.
now.
Yeah, don't rate Facebook if you get a Gardner Minshew on day 3 of free agency, because that signifies you're going to get your rookie.
So the cool thing about it, Chase, I'm glad you mentioned that. We can go over some of those scenarios that we talked about recently that now plays into it. T-Will, we're going to get to that Kirk Cousins answer from you too as well. But some of the scenarios is if you do get a veteran quarterback someday this week and it's not a Kurt or a Fields, you're going to trade up in the draft. That seems to be the move. Nobody's starting the season with Sam Darnold. Raheem and Zach Robinson. Hey, this fan base is cool, but we're not starting the season with Zach Robinson. No disrespect to Zach Robinson, but I mean, not Zach Robinson, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
It's not happening for me. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm a PSL holder. I'm not putting on a Sam Darnold jersey to go watch Sam Darnold. No, it's not happening. So you have to go get a guy that you feel as though can lift this team at quarterback. If you do see a Zach Wilson, like Shay said, if you do see a Minshew, if you do see a Jacoby Brissett, now you're sitting there watching saying, wow, I think the Falcons getting ready to really make this move in the draft to go get their Daniels, to go get their Drake May. Or you go see Kirk Cousins sign tomorrow, or you see Fields move, or some random, I think that's it, or Russell Wilson, and then you go draft your Dallas Turner or your Jared Verse in the draft, your defensive player. Those seem to be the two routes that fans want to go. If it's going to be Kirk, go get your guy in draft with your rookie, your pass rusher. If it's going to be Fields, you can still go get your pass rusher at 8. If it's going to be Russell Wilson, you can still go get your pass rusher, trade back, do whatever you want to do. But you can't make the wrong decision in a matter of hours.
Correct.
The funny thing is, if this is anything like the Deshaun Watson situation where there was a decent quarterback available and the teams wanted him, Chase, you know this, another team will be like, been watching y'all little jokers talk for days now, and we got a price point, we'll take them. You don't want the Broncos to do that. You don't want the Raiders to do that. You don't want certain teams to say, oh, you know what? We saw the Falcons and the Vikings talking. We want a piece of that action too. And they can do that in a matter of hours. T-Will, to you, to Kirk Cousins, matter of hours away. Is it looking more like it in your book?
I'm with Chase. I have no idea because, again, and you kind of touched on this. We don't know who else is involved with Kirk Cousins. It could not just be the Vikings. It could be the Vikings. It could be the Falcons. It could be the Jets. It could be, well, maybe not the Jets. It could be the Giants. It could be any number of teams that are under the radar. And to your point, Jack, they're just lying in the weeds, just waiting. Now, Atlanta could be a front runner, but as we've seen in the past couple of years, that means nothing. That means nothing. Look, guys, I watch Bleacher Report every day. I cannot tell you, and it's not just football, in any sport. A lot of times you'll see a team that's rumored to sign a player, and it's just window dressing because it never comes to fruition. Now, hopefully, whatever they're going to do next week. I would imagine that, quarterback is not something you want to dilly-dally around with.
It's quarterback is not a Friday move. It's not a Friday move.
Correct. You know what I mean? But whether it's to say it's Kirk Cousins, you just don't know. You don't know. You know what I mean? We've seen the Falcons.
Do you want it to be Kirk?
Do I want it to be Kirk? I'm being honest with you. I'm okay with Kirk. I'm okay with Justin. I'm okay with Russell. You know what I mean? Because A, it's not my money. B, I'm not Arthur Blank. I'm not Terry Fontenot. I'd love to be Terry Fontenot, but I'm not.
You're T-Will.
I'm T-Will, right? So I mean, I'm good. If it's Kirk Cousins, fine, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'd rather not spend 45 million because if Baker Mayfield got 33 million,
And
get
he's
ready,
yeah,
Falcons fans. Get
yeah,
Baker Mayfield got
yeah.
33 million. Kurt is getting every bit of 45.
Yeah, Kurt enjoyed watching Baker Mayfield's deal. Like, hey guys, you see
Oh,
that? You
he
like
loved
that?
it.
You like
He
that?
loved it.
That's what
He
Kurt
loved
said. As
it.
soon as Baker Mayfield got that deal, you like that? Wait till you see what
Absolutely.
my deal is going to be.
100%.
Watch this.
Because you know what? And I think it was a low-key shot by the Bucks at the Falcons, right? Because now, I mean, they could have released this next week. Why do it on Sunday, the day before free? Why do that, right?
Well,
And maybe I'm being narcissistic, but I don't know. But
maybe it helps the Falcons too, where the Falcons are like, okay, we'll wait till tomorrow to see what happens with Baker, and then it's like, Baker's gone, off the board. Makes it easy for Terry at 8:30 at night. You know what I'm saying? He's still up right now, looking at the board.
It's gonna make it's gonna make it more expensive for Terry. I'll give you that. Because if Baker Mayfield got 33 million, and if you do the math on 103 years, it's about 33.5 million dollars. Kirk Cousins is going to get the bottom number, the floor for Kirk Cousins' contract is 40 million. That's the floor.
He's definitely getting paid more than what Baker just got paid.
Yeah, that's the floor.
Definitely getting paid more.
That conversation starts at 40, and it could end at 45. It could end at 50. I hope it doesn't, but it starts at 40. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm good. Like I said, man, I'm good with Kirk. I'm good with Justin. I'm good with Russell. I just want to get it over with so we can prepare for the draft and move forward.
Falcon
I'm
fans,
good with either one.
This is the cool thing about what we're doing here. We've been talking about this Falcons organization and this team and what they can do going forward this offseason for weeks. Different podcasts, pop-up shows, all this stuff. And tomorrow night, we have a special guest who's going to be joining us. And he's right there on the screen, as you can see, Eric Parker, diehard Atlanta Falcons fan, super fan, season ticket holder. You guys know who Eric Parker is. He will be joining us tomorrow night to talk free agency. Hopefully, the Falcons will have their quarterback. They'll have a couple players in the building, a couple deals signed, so Eric Parker can come over here and get some more Falcons information to drop for you all, because it's going to be great to have Eric Parker on the show. He's been on here a couple times talking Falcons football with us. I'm always in the chat talking with Eric too as well. He's a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. He wants to see the team win, but Eric understands about the Kirk Cousins injury situation. He understands about the money situation, but he understands he's also a good quarterback. Same when you go into Russell Wilson situation. But even for Russ, Chase, it goes to you. The Falcons, and I just want to say it now, like, you're looking for a quarterback. The Fields news was brought up. The Fields news, Chase, you saw it. The Fields news was brought up. The Kirk Cousins news was brought up. Chase, it was literally fucking little to none news of fucking Russell Wilson brought up here in Atlanta. And we talked about it in the offseason where it would be great to see Russell, the stats and everything, but we knew it just wasn't happening. And then you look at the Steelers now, the first team that's already on the board to go after Russ. Seems like tomorrow morning they're going to make that deal official. Like, Russ is going to be a Steeler. And I'm watching the Steeler fans on some of their community chats. They're excited about Russell Wilson because they're coming from Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying, Falcon fans? That's like not like your Desmond Ridder moment, but Steelers, they have their championships. Mike Tomlin's a winning coach. They got to have a good coaching staff. I mean, they're going to have Arthur Smith over there. But you're coming from Kenny Pickett to Russell Wilson. Steelers fans are like, let's go compete. Like, that's how we could have had it here in Atlanta. You feel what I'm saying? So Falcon fans, when we get our guy, if it is Kirk, if it is Justin, if it is Drake May, if it is Jaden Daniels, whoever, I think, are we agreeing that's the 4? Is that the 4?
Yeah.
There's nobody else we're looking at outside of that, right?
Yes, correct.
And
obviously, unless if there was just a smoke screen behind the whole Russell situation and Atlanta was really entertaining that situation at all, I think Russell would, respectfully have to be on the list.
Would Russ entertain the interview with Atlanta to come down here and speak with the Falcons? Is it more like we bring them down here on a Monday, we'll talk to them Tuesday, Wednesday, we haven't made a decision? You don't want to do that. The league is moving fast tomorrow when it comes to the quarterback. The league is moving very fast. The NFL is getting shit done tomorrow around the Falcons. Falcons got to move at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. And I think if Russ were going to sign, he would have visited us on Friday. If Russ were or at least Saturday, right? Because he went to visit the Giants first, then he went to Pittsburgh.
You look.
So knowing to your
Mhm.
point, Jack, that this deadline is coming up here pretty quick. So I'm thinking if there was mutual interest there, we would have heard about Russell. Now that doesn't mean Russell didn't meet with them, but I tend to believe he didn't because we haven't heard anything about it. And as loud as the noise has been about the Falcons, if he did meet with
You would have heard it.
Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris, we would know. So the fact that he hasn't kind of tells me it's Pittsburgh's to lose.
What I want to do, look at the comment here from Mateo about Mitchell Trubisky. Chase, we talked about it in the chat. Why do you think the Bills did that? We're gonna go get Trubisky. They're pretty much showing everybody Josh Allen is their guy. This is the Matt Ryan Schwab move right here.
Yep.
This is the Ryan Schwab move that the Bills just did. There is no call for Trubisky here in Buffalo. I don't care if it's 3 picks, 4 picks, 5 picks, 7 sacks. Nobody's calling for Mitchell Trubisky.
Case Keenum was backing up Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen's always been their guy. That's
he's going to be 2025, 2026, 20. Chase, am I right? That's the guy for Buffalo. So as you can see, even with Mac Jones and the Jacksonville situation, people are trying to get their backups taken care of. Right now, Chase, we don't even know who our backup is going to be or who our starter is going to be. That's the crazy part. So maybe the Falcons do surprise everybody tomorrow and Chase. Go grab the backup.
Yeah. That's going to be wild, dude. You're going to see some
the wild part now. But it's possible. We want to put it out there.
Then it's what are you giving up in the draft? What are you trading to get your quarterback? That's the next scenario. That's the next comment.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. But content creators, Falcon fans, we're talking here today, Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Tomorrow, when we do our podcast, the special pop-up with Eric Parker, it's a totally different ball game, what we're talking about. So we're giving you some rumors and some speculation now, some theory about it. But tomorrow, it's like, this is what happened. It's real. It's on the dotted line. Let's get down to it. Chat's going crazy. Cool CC said, one time, what up?
What's good?
Going down in the major way. Tony Jones said, Bears planning on trading Fields. It's not impossible. The Jags could be contemplating the same move. The quarterback has been decent, but not generational talent as he was initially dubbed. Anything possible.
That's what I was alluding to, Jack. Right there. Because that's a curious move, right? Like, again, if let's say if they had traded for Mitchell Trubisky, nobody's going to blink. It's obviously Trubisky's a backup at this point. If they had traded for Zach Wilson, again, same thing. But you trade for Mac Jones, who there's a little ambiguity as to whether or not he still can be a starter, right? Mac Jones was great his first year. Not good, great. So there could be a thought that, hey, you know what I mean? And we don't know. First of all, we're not Jacksonville fans. I wish the one Jacksonville fan that we had was in here tonight. Maybe we could ask him, but we don't know
about golf now. He's not even worried about the Jags.
I don't know. We don't. That's cold, man. Anyway, we did. That's that. Hey, man, that shots fired, Jack. Anyway, you got me with that one. We don't know. I mean, that's just a curious move for a backup. You know what I mean? So there could be something to where, okay, we're going to trade with somebody for a second pick, and Dan Quinn, you take Trevor Lawrence. You get what I'm saying?
There's some moves that could be made that fans would not expect tomorrow or this week or for the draft that can move some players around. But one thing I want to point out, we talk about this backup quarterback and the starting quarterback. The Giants is something to watch for now after seeing the Mac Jones move to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
The Giants have mentioned, and they sit ahead of you in the draft, that they are concerned about Daniel Jones' injury. And, of course, they're Giants fans, and that's New York media. They want to win. They have Super Bowls. They want to win again. They don't want – and then Saquon might be out the door too as well. So that's not a good look on your quarterback. That's not a good look on your coaching staff or your team where a player is like, I just want to win again. And he wants to go to a different team, which now he may end up – tomorrow you may see Saquon as a Charger. Oh, yeah, don't forget, we play the Chargers this year.
Mm.
So not only you might be playing a
Hey,
new look.
how
Go
about
ahead.
speaking of running back and Saquon? How about Derrick Henry just bought a house in Dallas?
That is
Oh,
something else too as
wow.
well. These are
Chase,
just
you are coming with it tonight, buddy.
so much to look
I
for,
seen it this
Falcon
morning.
fans.
Hey, well, Chase, since you did that, go ahead and bless our Falcon fans with the rumor that you posted in our chat as well, sir. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah, Jack, you ready for that? You
Yeah,
ready
you go
to
ahead.
touch on that? All right. So a little rumor going around that Leonard Floyd is expected to sign with the Atlanta Falcons per source. He rejoins Raheem Morris, who had previously played for Los Angeles. Now they meet again in Atlanta. Leonard Floyd to Atlanta, 10 sacks last season. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
So we do want to make sure, and Chase, as a podcaster and a content creator, we want Adam Scheffner is going to be your official, your
Oh,
Ian
no doubt.
Rappaport.
No doubt. This is all rumors, all rumor city right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a couple Rams players that Falcon fans were like, there's some type of link, some type of tie. It happened when defensive coordinator came over from the Saints last year. He brought David, he brought Caden
Mm-hmm.
Ellis. Now you
Mm-hmm.
got your head coach coming from the Rams. It's like, well, I got Zach Robinson. I brought the other coaching staff. I brought the other guy from the coaching staff. Shit, isn't there a safety available from the Rams? Isn't there a corner available from the Rams? A lot of the Rams players, too, as well, were developed under Zach Robinson and some of these players, too. So you never know. Tomorrow you may hear XYZ from the Rams is now a Falcon. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because of Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson. So it's cool to know that there is some ties going on. Now, if it's Aaron Donald, hey, let me tell you something. We're flipping the table. We're flipping the table. It's
Hey,
over. It's
tables will
over.
be flipped.
Calling Super Bowl already.
Tables will be flipped. And you know what? Hey, Jack, not only will tables be flipped, beers will be consumed, sir.
Shit.
That's something to celebrate. Maybe, I don't know, maybe wine for our, our Bridge Tunnel crowd, but beers, will be open. Okay. If we ever get Aaron Donald, oh my God. I mean, it'll never
Aaron
happen.
Donald in his 70s. I'll still take it.
Hey, tomorrow. Sign me up.
Falcon fans, there is moves being made around the NFL. We want to gear everybody up for what could happen tomorrow. The competition battles we talked about going on this summer at camp is going to be amazing with the who's going to be your tight end 2, your tight end 3, your wide receiver 2, 3, 4, your running back 3. I don't know if CP is going to be returning here. Of course, the offensive line seems to be set. Chase, do you see any competition battles along the offensive line, regardless if they draft a guy or bring in a guy? Do you think that the O-line is set of where the future of this line could be?
I would say you're set. Now, with that being said, I think you still had to keep an eye on the guy that plays on the right side, Caleb McGarry.
Yep.
You never know if that guy's going to have a full healthy training camp. Last 2 years have been his healthiest career or years of his career. So with that being said, Caleb McGarry is a guy that you could watch for a potential trade that we was talking about earlier, trading in the draft. Maybe somebody needs a right tackle in Caleb McGarry. So Caleb McGarry is the guy that I'm watching. Maybe you draft a guy, tackle position, Jack. We talked about it. The guy in the draft, the big 6'8" kid, or he'd be the early pick, but that's the guy there that can play that spot. So just keep that in mind. Caleb McGarry could obviously be out of the Atlanta Falcons organization. And then again, I could be wrong. He could be the starter for the next 3 years. So just watch the right tackle position.
One thing we haven't mentioned, we didn't say Chris Lindstrom. We didn't say Jake Matthews. We didn't say Matthew Bergeron. We didn't say Grady Jarrett. We said McGarry. A lot of other people have mentioned McGarry his name as well, but we will see what the Falcons will do. A lot of people have mentioned about trades. Hey, should we trade for this guy? Should we trade for this guy? And I replied to a post the other day. I said, how many trades are we going to make in a matter of days? That's a lot of trades. But Terry's going to get cooking. We know Terry's going to get cooking because we saw what Terry has done with the cap. Everybody agrees. We were in cap hell. Terry, the new regime that he brought in, everybody in their coaching staff, whatever, they helped put the cap where we are right now. I don't see us going back into cap hell. I hope we don't go back into cap hell. But I know Terry's going to make some moves. The Nate Lemon deal, the 1-year deal. Terry's going to shine again this offseason in a matter of hours on some of these 1-year deals. This is where Terry really gets his bread and butter.
And
some of the 1 year. Go ahead, Chase.
I said, I really, truly hope that's a Bud Dupree move, like an early tomorrow morning. Bud Dupree's re-signed back in Atlanta, and hopefully Calais Campbell is not hanging up his cleats.
And that's something now, as a Falcon fan, you get to sit and watch to say, well, who else is going to hit the market tomorrow? Who else's name is going to be available? Because it's not only just tomorrow. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have next week. You have after the draft. You have when they do the cuts around free agent, around preseason too. So there's going to be a lot of players, in the building, out the building. But I think Terry's going to shine on bringing in some one-year deal guys, like he's done the past 2 years, that is making an impact here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I understand we had a losing season, but even though you had a losing season, you still had some players who made a tremendous impact in Atlanta. And don't even forget about the draft picks with Terry. They are draft friendly. So they want their 6th rounder to play. They want their 7th rounder to play. I would love to see Terry maybe this draft. And this is where fans got to remember too. We might trade 2 or 3 picks to go get a Fields, 2 or 3 picks to trade up to go get a Daniels or a May. But remember this: you can also trade your 3rd back and get 2 or 3 4ths and a 5th, and then you can start loading up there. Because you notice that with Terry drafts, they're gonna play. They're gonna play, and chances are, I mean, you saw with Arthur Smith's situation, your 7th rounder is beating out your 2nd rounder in their scheme. This year, we'll see how it is. If Richie Grant's going to stay, a lot of names too as well about the Falcons. What are they going to do with Zoe Carter? You mentioned Campbell. You mentioned Bud Dupree. Kyle Pitts situation, the contract you have to pay that man. AJ Terrell. We've stayed away from that, but in a matter of hours, all of this could come up. Falcons start restructuring, start making some moves, start making some deals, and it's like, what are we gearing up for? The cool thing about it is you re-signed the punter. I mean, the long snapper.
Ryan Nuzil.
The backup offensive lineman, the backup and the linebacker Nate Landman. Yeah, so we've signed 3. We've re-signed
McCullum, Nuzil, and Landman. You didn't give us a splash, Terry. You built the pieces that
Landman was. I will say Landman was my top free agency re-signing. We had to hit on that one.
Yes,
and Terry did. Shout out to Terry.
And that goes from, not saying, some of these Madden players out there with their Madden moments, but for Landman to say he wanted to play in Atlanta versus, I'll test the market. I think my value has gone up in the past 2 years. That goes a lot to Landman and this and not Landman, Terry and the organization. They make players feel good. I told you guys about this. There's no outside media attention. Landman has been solid on the field and off the field. I can go through. We can check up Landman's profile. I guarantee he hasn't. There's no arrest records. None of that. Landman is a good guy.
Yeah.
A lot of these players they bring in the building, they're good guys. That's who the Falcons love to have on their team. That's who the Falcons love to have in their building. So it's tough when you hear about the noise of Russell Wilson and about the parking spot out there in Denver. He gets his own spot, and some of the teammates he never, talked to, and he didn't get along with the coaching staff and organization. And then you have the outside interference with the Future noise, who's getting ready to drop a crazy tape with Metro Boomin coming up too as well. But fans don't want to hear some of those things in Atlanta. We talked about it here when they mentioned that Russ was going to be available. The amount of people that tagged Future that day was just ridiculous because they just want to be, just I don't know if it's showing off or you trying to get the likes and the views up. Has none. He's trying to come out here and get some wins, man.
Just being messy.
But fans see it differently. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Travis Preston said, "Let the mayhem begin."
Hey, let me ask you a question, guys. I think the longer this goes on, the more Justin Fields' price is going to go. And the reason why I say that is because I'm hearing that his value, that a lot of GMs don't want him now, but as quarterbacks start coming off the board, this guy signs with this team, this guy signs with this team, I think they may come back and revisit that. So if I'm the Bears, I might kind of hold on to Russell. I might try and do it for another week or so. Because
Fields.
Good. No. Because again, let's say the Falcons miss on Kirk Cousins. Okay, where are you going? Because I really feel like Russell's going to Pittsburgh. So where are you going? Right?
It happens. It has to happen tomorrow or Tuesday or before Wednesday.
Has to.
But I think Fields is still in play. I think Kirk Cousins has just, kind of overlapped them right now. It's just all about if they get Cousins for the right price, they'll go make the move. But I would not be surprised if the Vikings. I see the Vikings fan base. Some of them are really like, go back and get Kirk.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the number one receiver said he's following his quarterback wherever he goes, Justin Jefferson. That speaks volumes for Kirk Cousins, his case in Minnesota. I mean, your number one receiver. I mean, I know you have a Jordan Addison, but Justin Jefferson really started it out in Minnesota. So he wants Kirk Cousins. That's his guy. That's who he's played for since he's came in the league. So you could really make some people mad in Minnesota if you don't re-sign a Kirk Cousins.
Crazy thing about it is the price. We know what Baker just got paid, and that's
that and
more than what we just saw. But we'll move on.
Right? Yes, Jack. Jack, say that again.
It's gonna be a lot more than what we just saw with Baker Mayfield.
Thank you. And you know what? Honestly, the more I think about it, that could help Atlanta because if you sign Cousins, are you really going to sign Danielle Hunter and Justin Jefferson?
That's not. Justin Jefferson is not a Falcon. That's not happening.
No, money.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you're not going to be able to sign all three. You're not going to be able to sign all three.
I would look into, especially if you're going to go, if you do trade for Fields. Oh, Bryce Huff cleared Page. He's ready to go find a team. Bryce Huff could be an interesting fit. Right now, they're saying the Bears are a good fit for Bryce Huff.
I mean, they got the money. What do you expect? I mean, they're going to be targeted to everybody. That's going to be
everybody. They are.
They're going to pay for a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But
if Chicago ain't got a quarterback, it don't matter.
That is true. Falcon fans, we have a lot going on here within the Falcons organization. We do want to say big shout out to you all who's here tuning in tonight. Free agency eve, I guess. And you can see that Falcon fans are in the chat discussing, do they want Fields? Do they want a rookie? Do they want Kirk Cousins? Other fans are not worried about the quarterback issue. They want to see the depth. They want to see the team being built, a different way this season with, no more Arthur Smith and Rags and all those people. Chat is live too as well. William Amy said, y'all ready? Got the draft? Well, I'm sorry.
We ready for the draft for sure. We ready to draft.
Six Goddess. So where does everyone think Cousins is going?
Don't know. Don't know. That's the $45 million question.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I mean, it's Minnesota or Atlanta to me. This is a situation where I don't see another team randomly sneaking up and grabbing the guy. I threw it out there so fans can see, different people's opinions.
What if all along the Bears were talking to a Kirk Cousins?
Or Washington.
What if the Bears made the move on Kirk Cousins, draft Marvin Harrison number 1, Justin Fields is there to learn and grow behind Kirk Cousins?
Wow. That'd be a baller move, man.
Yeah.
That'd be a baller move.
I think we've given every scenario that could be possible.
No doubt.
I'm with Chase. I don't think you can cover every scenario, but we've covered a good bit, but I don't think you can cover everything.
Six Goddess, shout out to Six Goddess in the chat. Hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button, Falcon fans. Going outside of the quarterback issue, Christian Wilkins, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
If you get your hands on a Christian Wilkins tomorrow,
yes, sir.
First of all,
the big one. That's the splash.
That's the splash. Terry hasn't been cooking enough with those 3 moves that he made. Falcon fans like, that's cool. That's the appetizer. Where's the goddamn meal?
I would like to see the splash for a T. Higgins, man. That's a splash for me.
Do we grab our wide receiver 2 this week?
That's according if they want to build through the draft. man. Draft so stacked with receivers, dude.
Mhm.
I mean, you're winning either way this year, I believe. Either way, you're winning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. And I'll tell you another reason I agree with Chase is because you got to turn around and sign Kyle. You got to turn around and sign Drake. So, your receivers 2 and 3, it probably would help you if they were on rookie deals.
Yeah, for sure.
So that could play a part. I don't know. We could, but I tell you what, man, I wouldn't mind Christian Wilkins. I definitely wouldn't mind Leonard Floyd. I'm all about that pass rush, and I would just love that. I would absolutely love that. Again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Six Goddess. No, you're good. She said, so between Fields and Cousins, who do we snag? Both, some would say, fits the offense. I know there's fans that's going to be split down the middle saying, nah, Fields has been inconsistent, XYZ, but Cousins is more of the proven guy. It's a lot of pros and cons because you got Cousins' age, you have the money, you have the injury, but then you have the stats. You have a quarterback that's put up, would you say, Chase, over 4,000 yards the past 4 seasons? He's been on pace to almost get 5,000 yards. The difference
last year he was on pace to get 5,000.
That too is what he's not declining for his age, but fans are looking at the injury saying, well, we haven't seen Kurt after this injury, and we will be the team to get him after the injury. That's the scary part for fans. For Fields, it's kind of like he's Atlanta, he's the hometown kid, he will put butts in seats. I understand fans want that flashy Vic type of guy again in Atlanta. Ritter probably rubbed fans the wrong way. They want to see more of, if you can't get the ball down the field, be more mobile, be more. Ritter just wasn't. It's tough. I don't want my lights to go out. I don't even want to mention his name right now.
He did. You know what? He was a rookie, Jay.
Yeah.
He was, and to be honest, it kind of wasn't fair. If this were 15 years ago, Ritter, we probably wouldn't even having this discussion because Ritter would be given maybe at least a second year, right? But this is a "what have you done for me lately" league, and so he was a rookie. Was he the greatest rookie? Clearly, but he was a rookie, and he needs development. And with that being said, he could still develop. The guy has shown he can win some games in the NFL. There are silly mistakes that need to be corrected, but let's be fair. He didn't exactly get a fair shake. He did not get a fair shake. I'm not saying he should be our QB1. I'm definitely not. So those of you not on the Ritter train, hey, I come in peace. I'm just saying the guy clearly did not get a fair shake, and the conditions were not optimal, right? You had a head coach that was clearly on his way out, clearly on his last leg. And I don't even think we got the best of Arthur Smith because everybody can't delegate, right? There are some guys that are great offensive coordinators, but they make lousy head coaches.
Yeah,
I believe this to be the case with Arthur Smith. I think the Steelers will have a great year. You want to know why? Because all Arthur has to do is focus on the offense. So
Mike Tomlin is he gets
excellent coach,
ready.
Excellent coach.
Season. Mike Tomlin,
excellent coach.
Have him as a head coach, and then that's why I'm so heavy on Raheem, because he heard the comments from Mike Tomlin about Raheem, and now you get Raheem in the driver's seat with this new team. Get some cap space. You got Terry behind him. It's like a new brotherhood. It feels like a new brotherhood. Right? It feels like this is a winning culture.
Yes.
Already. I didn't get that vibe already from Quinn because I've heard these conversations before about we're going to be fast, we're going to be physical, we're going to be all coaches need to say that. That's what gives the fan base hope. But Raheem, some of these interviews, he gets you ready to play, bro. There's been a couple times he was talking, and I'm like, bro, I'm finna go put the pads on. Bro, I'm finna go fucking hit somebody.
And there's substance to what Raheem said. There's substance to it, right? I mean, anybody, and no disrespect to Dan. Dan is a great defensive coordinator. I'm not taking anything away from him. But there's another level when you talk about being a head coach. You're going to need more, especially in today's game. You're going to need more. You're going to have to motivate the motivators. You know what I mean? You got to motivate your coaches. You got to develop your coaches. I saw an interview with Mike Tomlin, and it impressed the hell out of me. And he said, a lot of coaches don't want to coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of coaches. What does that mean? Well, that means, this guy can throw, but he can't read defenses. Oh, I'm not drafting him. Why?
Mm-hmm.
You coach him up. You come to the league to be developed, right? And I say this in the sense that Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season since he's been with Pittsburgh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? Because he develops. And I get the same thing from Raheem. So I'm excited about Raheem because I think he does it the right way. I really do. I'm excited for the environment. I'm excited for the culture that he's going to create. And honestly, guys, I think any quarterback that we select is going to be better for coming in.
Mm-hmm. Chase, don't want to put this rumor to bed. Tom Pelissero mentioning not too long ago that the Broncos is a team to watch for with Kirk Cousins as well.
Yep.
So Falcon fans, you can hear now being hours away, and the fan just mentioned legal tampering starts tonight around midnight. I don't think we're going to get no Falcons news at 2 a.m. Falcons have signed Kirk Cousins. You're not going to be sleeping hear that news. You're going to wake up 8, 9, 10, 11.
You did fire Arthur Smith at about 12 o'clock in the morning.
You did. He's right. He's right. Hey, they were waiting for Arthur when he got off that bus. No, sir. Well, we need to see you right now. Come on. They went to New Orleans, right? So as soon as he got off that plane, they were like, "Nah, we need to talk to you." But
that's that late flight. He didn't get a chance to get no beignets.
Yeah, no, man. We need to talk to you right now.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. The cool thing about it is Falcon fans, from Pamela Johnson here in the chat, to Alejandro Duncan here in the chat, to Carlton Bunch here in the chat, to Cheryl Gibbons in the chat, we're all going to find out who's going to be these next wave of players to come help this team win. We've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 years where we've been on the brink, 1 game away, 1 win away, 1 sack away. We're really tired of this. This needs to be the season of the turnaround. Don't forget Khalil Mack, too, as well could be available. Joey Bosa as well could be available. A lot of players you're going to be hearing in the next couple hours hitting the market where the Falcons can say, man, this guy can make our team look good. Man, this guy can make our team look better. Maybe there's not going to be too many splashy moves here. Maybe Terry just puts a bunch of pieces together that says, well, here's your big splash. I just got 8 or 9 of these players. It wasn't no Jesse Bates type of player. It wasn't no Christian Wilkins type of player. It was 8 or 9 of these free agents to make you guys say, wow, this is some core key solid pieces. Now, tomorrow,
like the year before last, like you did
like
with
the year before last. Yeah, I mean, last year we look at the Jesse Bates move and was like, whoa, Jesse Bates, oh my God. And then you see what he did, and it makes fans feel good. Maybe Terry this year looks at it and says, fans are still hype off that Bijan. They still hype off that Jesse. You know what I'm saying? They still hype off that last year shit. So what we do is
bring in a fresh rookie like Dallas Turner.
You feel what I'm saying? Now we can build up through a different way where fans can say, okay, who is the splashy guy? The quarterback. Everybody else was just put in place, and then you got your pass rusher at 8. That's the big moves. The Falcons can stay balanced without making fans hit the boards and say, why don't we get this guy? Why don't we get this guy? Well, Terry's cooking in a different direction. So we can see that too this year. The cool thing about it is we got money. And when the Falcons got their money, when I tell you the Falcons got money, the Falcons got their own money. It makes you feel good that we have money. We've been saying this. There's been so many years where we couldn't say this. Chase, we couldn't even mention Christian Wilkins' name in the conversation. We couldn't even mention a Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack in the conversation or T. Higgins. We couldn't even mention these people at one point. Now,
I'd love to see Khalil Mack. I'd love to see Khalil Mack. But honestly, Jack, I think you will see splash. I think you will. I think
splash your quarterback.
I don't know. But I think you will see a splash. I don't know. I mean, hey man, I'd love to see a quarterback. I'd love to find out Monday. You just don't know. But I definitely think if you don't go quarterback and you got to draft one, you're going to see some sizzle this week. You're going to see some sizzle from that defensive line. Like, I really think we go and get not only do I think we draft Dallas Turner, but I think we sign a defensive end. or two. I definitely think that.
You want to take
Maybe a
some
receiver. You said what?
pressure. You want to take some pressure off of Caden Ellis, not Caden Ellis, Nate Landman this year.
Mm-hmm.
Devondre Campbell is going to be available too as well, and he's led the league in tackles the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
You get Devondre Campbell back in the day.
Yes.
You are talking about
That's the guy.
some real beef at the linebacker position.
That's your 3-4 linebacker. That's the guy you go out and get.
Now you're looking at Ellis, you're looking at Shore, you're looking at Lamb, you're looking at Campbell. It's like,
and you drafted Campbell. The Atlanta Falcons drafted Campbell. You go back and get the guy.
You go back and get him. Hey, we apologize. It was the wrong regime at the time. We apologize.
Yeah.
We got Raheem back. You remember Raheem? We got Raheem back.
Another ex-Falcon, Dante Fowler, is another one that's going to be a free agent this offseason.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Raheem Morris.
Isaiah Oliver was a free agent. The Jets just picked him up too as well. I mean, there's some some Falcon players I don't want to see back here in Atlanta. Some of them.
I was straight with Dante. Dante had no help. You had a Grady, you had Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler still produced a little here in Atlanta. He's not that big signing, but I think Dante could be the cheaper the word I'm looking for here, like rotational guy. Defense last year liked to rotate a good bit on the front. 3-4, you're going to have to do that because you're going to get beat up on that 3 lineman type deal because you're getting double team a good bit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It's gonna
shout out to the kid 94. He said, I'm just tired of having these old quarterbacks when half of the league is going young. That's one of the cons as well. When people mention the Kirk Cousins situation, or people might mention the Russell Wilson situation. A lot of these teams, Patrick Mahomes, young quarterback, Josh Allen, young quarterback, Lamar Jackson, young quarterback, even Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, we can keep going. There's a shit ton of young quarterbacks. And some fans feel frustrated because, like, why are the Falcons targeting a 36-year-old guy coming off an injury? We will find out this week why, because still we haven't heard from Terry. We haven't heard from Raheem. And we're not going to put words in their mouth of what they could say of why they went for Kirk Cousins right now. Because we don't know why they could go after Kirk, or why they can go after Justin, or why they can go after the rookie. All we know is that they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. Now, I'm still hoping that, hey, maybe do pick up the phone and give Russ a call just to see if you can, get some news going here. What's it? Breaking news? This ain't breaking news. Don't tell me. We got Adam Scheffner here. Come on, Adam. What you got? Nah, I hope this is not like breaking because they're talking about Baker Mayfield. Yeah, 115 million. So, tomorrow around this time, it would be great. Eric Parker will be with us talking Falcons football. MacTown Dirty's here. Said, to me, it shouldn't matter when it comes to Fields. His numbers are no better than Ritter, regardless to how long they wait. Cheryl Gibbons in the chat. She said, Cousins staying with the Vikings.
That could happen.
Ramel Peck said, what's happening? One time for the fan. Dr. Slipknot says, part of me is hoping a team springs out of nowhere. If the Bears or Pats get him, it makes it easier to trade with them for a pick. I would rather get a QB in the draft, but I wouldn't mind Cousins. The trading of Mac Jones shows me the Patriots make it harder to trade for now. The Patriots, I don't see the Patriots moving from that 3. They got rid of Mac Jones for the reason to show their fan base, yes, we're going to get you a quarterback, the right one, at 3. For them to drop back to 8, the Patriots, they're going to miss out on their Jaden Daniels. They're going to miss out on their Drake May. We talked about this. Why would a team, and there's pros and the cons to everything. Why would a team who wants a quarterback give you the pick to go get a quarterback so they can say, nah, we'll go with a lineman this year and we'll go with a quarterback in the second round? That's not how you do your due diligence when you're scouting your players.
Zach, I want to say something real quick. They just released 100 top free agents for the NFL Network. How they rank before the free agent starts. And Kirk Cousins, number 1 over Christian Wilkinson at 2. So
Kirk Cousins. So even for his age, even for his injury, even for the money, when they're listing all of the free agents available, a quarterback is at the top of the list. And your team, Dr. Slicknuts, your team, Jordy Shepard, your team, Crimson Huntsman, needs a quarterback. So sometimes it's like, why don't you go get the best guy available? The Baker Mayfield thing came a part of the Falcons community where Baker Mayfield threw for over 4,000 yards. His 1-year deal with the Bucs took them to the playoffs, got them to divisional playoff, almost took them to the NFC Championship game. So I'm guessing for most fans, they're looking at Kirk Cousins thinking, maybe Kirk can do that for us. Baker Mayfield had a bad rep his whole career. Now he's in Tampa. First of all, let's go over to NFC South here, Falcon fans. We got to look at the bigger picture. If you add Kirk Cousins, and I'm not just all for Kirk Cousins, I'm really for the rookie if you're going to go for Kirk Cousins situation, but I see how the Falcons could get him. Here's why. If you go to the division, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins, a healthy 100% Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, and Baker Mayfield, I think the Falcons are NFC South favorites with Kirk Cousins. His stats have proven it. He's on pace for 5,000 yards in multiple years after 32 years old. Totally fine with that. Also, he was with Raheem in Washington too as well. So there's connections there. Falcon fans, there's things that can happen here. And we're going to find out in a matter of hours, but I'm excited to know that we're going to get a new guy in the building who can really help us get some wins. If it's Fields, if it's Cousins, if it's Daniels, if it's May. We didn't even mention Jack Spade. I got this throw.
80 yards on the run.
80 on the run.
Yeah.
I don't need much protection on it because usually it's a rollout.
That boy got talent.
That boy got skill. So 80 yards on the run. Falcon fans know Jack Spade, man. You know what I do, man. 80 yards on the run. Crimson Huntsman said, how much is Wilkins going to cost, though? That's your splash, Crimson. Crimson, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Been drinking. That's your splash, Christian Wilkins. That's your splash. Because he's going to be your 20 to $25 million guy.
Or Danielle Hunter.
Or Danielle Hunter.
Well,
or even Greenyer too as well. Greenyer's a name to watch.
Yeah, but I don't think Wilkins is going to be 25 million because Chris Jones, who is the best rusher in the game right now, got 19 a year. So I don't. Yeah, maybe you can get him for 18, 19, but I mean, is Chris Wilkins better than Chris Jones?
On the level of fans would say yes and no. Don't forget that's a question where even sports science will look at it and say they have to look at all the metrics. Well, some fans would say, off of Chris Jones's appearance in the NFL, playing with the Chiefs, Jones is better. He's won Super Bowls. You see what's done with the defense. They'll say Jones is better. But Christian Wilkins is a monster. He is a wrecking ball. To put him with Grady Jarrett and David and some of these new talent, that's going to be crazy. But maybe you could get him for less than $20 million. Wouldn't mind seeing him.
Yeah, and then draft Dallas Turner with that. Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Super Bowl
is definitely looking good there. Sterling Wood said, I just want to see what the docs say about Cousins. We haven't even heard anything. Last we saw was a video of him still in rehab. We haven't even seen the medicals being cleared. And we talked about it too. NFL honors. He's dancing on stage.
I'm sure these teams are for sure checking in on this. Terry for sure, and Raheem being a new head coach, you've got to look into this injury. You've got to know what's going on.
Yeah,
but I mean, you got to.
Chase, I know you got some stuff to do, man. Any shout outs before you get up out of here, man? We talked Falcon football tonight. We're gonna be back tomorrow night, Wednesday. We got a whole week of podcasts and No Dirty Fanatics.
What time is the show? What time is the show tomorrow night, Jack?
Eric's coming live on 8:00, man. 8:00.
But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. I've just been watching the live over here. It's been popping off, man. Comment after comment. Shout out to all y'all. If you're new here on the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, shares to a Falcon friend. You heard it from Jack, man. A lot to come here. A lot of content coming out to you guys. So hit that like button and definitely share. Shout out to Terry. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Kiki, Missy, and Kiki on the panel, man. We got to get Kiki back on here. Shout out to Bodie. Shout out to Big Low. Shout out to all the content creators, man. Also, I haven't had the chance to talk to Big Low. He's had a lot going on. Just seen us live yesterday, I believe it was. My condolences to you, Big Low. I know you see the show. Much respect to you, sir. Prayers up for you and your family. Jack, with that being said, man, appreciate you having me on tonight. Catch me at Dirty Fanatics United, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We own all the social medias. Hit the subscribe button. Almost at 3:30, man. Get us at 3:30. We make 350 by the end of this month. We're giving away a Falcon ticket. So hit that subscribe button, man. It's your boy Chase. A-Town down.
That boy Chase, Dirty Fanatics United. Always good to have Chase here. One time for the fan. Kenneth Cullett says, Terry, absolutely wrong. Fields is not the answer, period. I know Kenneth was in the chat advocating for Desmond Ritter, saying Ritter
Mhm.
would be the starter. Ritter is the guy. Arthur Blank has stated it's Ritter.
Mhm.
At this point, hours before the free agency, for most fans here, I think we can look and say it's no longer Ritter.
I
If
would agree.
most fans would also agree with Kenneth as well to say Fields is not the answer because they've seen his play in Chicago. When we get our quarterback, we will find out what Zach Robinson saw, what Terry saw, what Raheem saw. But if you do get a Fields, whatever they saw in Chicago that was bad, that comes the developmental stage.
Yeah.
Whatever you saw in Chicago that was good, that's why we brought him here.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's that
Agreed.
simple. It's that simple. You can do it for Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins too as well. For his age, for his
Yeah.
money. The guy's throwing Raheem. He's almost thrown 5,000 yards last season. Raheem, he was on pace for 5,000 yards.
I honestly think one of the most important words in the English language is context.
Yeah.
Right? I'll say that again. Context. Because, right, if you just look at the naked numbers, you're right. Ritter and Justin are basically the same. But if you do a little sifting and you do a little digging, and I'm not going to take you guys down that happy trail, but suffice it to say, Justin did not have the necessary support, resources, development, whatever you want to call it, in Chicago. He definitely did not have the resources to throw the ball to. He didn't really have a great offensive line. As soon as you snap the ball, somebody's in your throat. So it's a little different. Ritter had weapons. Ritter had a litany of weapons.
A whole list of weapons over here in Atlanta.
Ritter had a plethora of at least half a Baker's dozen, right? Which is 7, by the way, because a Baker's dozen is 13. But bottom line, it's not the same. Because I promise you, if Justin had the weapons that Ritter had, if Justin was here last year, I think we make the playoffs, and it's not even close.
You're looking at a couple plays where he probably would have lit up the teams that we played against.
Exactly.
We would probably look at it. Yeah.
Thank you.
5 or 6 more touchdowns more than Ritter and 3 less interceptions too as well. So that would have got you in the playoffs. But Marcus Cummins in the chat. What's good? One time for the family. For you guys, regardless of what quarterback we land, do you think we go wide receiver at 8?
No.
Look up the defense altogether, or go defense with the 8th pick? Marcus.
Defense
at 8 for us. Don't forget, we're not the Falcons.
Defense at 8 for us. Right. We're not, but you talk about pissing a fan base off. I would say at 8, it's either Dallas Turner or the other guys we talk about that I can't remember, but it's a defensive end for me at 8. You got to get a pass rush. Defensive ends are not cheap. It's one of the defensive ends at me. If you already have your quarterback, if you don't have your quarterback, then you know what it is.
So
it's probably going to be JJ.
You're looking over the dream scenario, Terry. Falcons go get their quarterback. And this is just in general, so that we won't have to name players. But this is the dream scenario here that's going to happen, Falcon fans. We get our quarterback in free agency. Or draft. Now, okay.
Or trade.
You get our you get our quarterback in free agency. You load up through the free agency with your, depth players and some boom guys, some guys that can make the fans say, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm glad he's here." And then you go in your draft and you get your pass rusher. And the fans are like, "That's what we're talking about, Falcons. Right. That's what we've been trying to see." Right. You would have fans happy that route. How you make fans not happy is you go get a guy who people were not expecting in free agency tomorrow. You go and bring, I don't know, Jimmy G is your pick tomorrow, or Zach Wilson is your guy tomorrow, and then you go draft your pass rusher at 8, and it's like, what else? What's next? Hold on, y'all joking, right? You don't want to see those routes. Yeah. Or the route you could see is you load up in free agency with a bunch of boom players, a bunch of splash moves, and guess what happens during draft? You trade up.
Yeah.
Those are the scenarios, Falcon fans.
Yeah.
You get your quarterback in free agency, and you get your boom guys. You get to the draft and get your pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
or you fuck up the draft and the people get mad because you went to go get a quarterback that nobody wanted. You load
Mm-hmm.
up on boom players in your draft, you get the pass rusher. Still nobody wanted that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Or you make that move where you just get a bunch of splash players in free agency because Terry's cooking and you know the trade for your quarterback is happening. So we just got to get ready for Jaden Daniels or Drake May. There's no way to see it.
And honestly, your path to trading up right now just got a little bit more difficult because I can assure you, New England is looking like they're going to draft somebody now, unless they sign a free agent. It's looking like you're going to have to trade for 2 or bust.
That's why the night before free agency, Terry, we may see a Kirk Cousins or a Fields move.
We may.
Because you might not. We keep saying it. You might not be able to get to 3.
You might not.
Patriots are not. They want a quarterback.
They need a quarterback.
If
they
Washington
need a quarterback.
does not go for a quarterback this week, cancel
where are you
your
going to go?
Of trading up. Washington, Dan Quinn, got to make a splash move. You got to rebuild that fan base. Go get you a rookie quarterback. Sam Howell wasn't the guy. Sam Howell's name was linked to being traded a couple weeks ago.
And he still could be
with Sam Howell. He's not starting the season with Sam Howell.
He still could be traded. You know, this thing is going to be wild. But again, I would not. And look, I know you can't look. Some team is not going to be able to avoid it. But I wouldn't want to be there on draft night not having a quarterback, having to trade up, because if you do, it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's going to cost.
Yeah.
Chicago's not doing it.
Yep.
And it doesn't look like New England is doing it. Yeah. So that puts Dan Quinn in Washington in the catbird seat.
Yeah.
I don't. So for me, we got to work something out either via trade or free agency before we go to the draft.
We're going to hear this in a matter of hours. Here's one thing, T. Will. We're getting ready to wrap up the podcast here. The question is, how healed is that Achilles, and will he be ready by the start of camp? NFL honors. He's dancing in front of the crowd. He's showing off that he can move. Then there's a video that comes out where he's playing with the kids. One of his kids steps on his Achilles, and you can hear Kurt say, "Don't step on my Achilles."
Was that tongue in cheek? Was that tongue in cheek, or was he serious?
Huh?
Was that tongue in cheek, or was he serious?
Well, I mean, I don't want to play the video now because they're going to get me copyright. But Falcon fans can go back and look at it. He was on the ground playing, like, I guess games you play with your kids. And one of the kids must have stepped on the Achilles, and he said, "Hey, don't step on my Achilles." But that was heard on camera. Falcon fans took the video and said, "Do you see?
But that
was not ready."
But I guess the video had to be put out by him, right? I mean, was he?
Somebody in his family was recording.
Right.
It wasn't like a "don't put it out" type of thing.
Right. Correct.
So I mean, a family moment, and they heard it. Yeah.
Right. So, but if it's that serious, I don't think they put it out. You know what I mean? Like if it was really that detrimental, why would you allow it? You'd be like, no, put the camera. You know what I mean? So I think he'll be ready. I do. I think he'll be ready. I hope he'll be ready.
Another thing to look for. The number 8. I don't know if Pitts is giving up this number. But I do know if you do not bring back Okudah, the number 1 is available.
Has Kurt ever worn number 1?
No, but I don't think it could happen that there's a jersey swap and Kurt wants to go to a different number. But the feeling is like, well, number 1 would be available if he's here.
That's true.
So I see how fans can use their, what is it? What you talking about, Terry? What did you say? The not scenarios you said. You said it was one of those the stuff you're talking about, man. Superstitions.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Okudah's gone and 1 is available, so the Falcons can get Fields and just put him
in. Take that. It's a sign. It's a sign that the Falcons should get Fields.
Because 1 is available.
I've seen it. I've seen the light. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Big shout out to Bodie, not here tonight. Big shout out to Kiki, not here tonight. Chase from Dirty Fanatics United, one time for the fan co-host here tonight. T. Will, It's always great talking with you. Third Party Action said, just subbed. Let's go Falcons. Big shout out to Third Party Action, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. All we do is talk Falcons football. A lot of people here know what we do. We've been doing it for a while. Third Party
Shout
Action.
out Third Party.
We don't
Shout out
bash the
Third Party.
team.
Welcome.
Big shout out to Third Party. We don't bash the team. We don't bash the players. We respect the organization. We're critical at times because we want to see the team win. But if the team loses, we're going to find ways to win. Like, we're not going to sit here and dwell on the loss because it's life, bro. We got other things to worry about. But I guarantee you, most coaches are going to go in there and say, how can we find ways to win after a loss? How can we find ways to get better? And that's what we do here on the podcast too, as well, versus, hey, this guy's trash, this guy's shit, hey, get him off the team. That's super easy to build content when you just bashing. But for us, we just try to make sure fans are enjoying the positivity of what we have here from podcasters and fans to the Falcons. Me, myself, season ticket holder, PSL holder. So we're doing a lot, going to the home games. And of course, with the Rise Up tour, what we do on the road with the fan base is also big. So Third Party Action, man, big shout out to you. I mean, Country does the that's Superman chat when he does the Superman and the money. So I guess we got to create something.
Shout out to Big Country.
When we get subs,
definitely.
So that way, it could be super cool. We're changing up the podcast soon too as well. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I got some really cool stuff that I want to do when we get to 1,000 subscribers. But it's really gonna take everybody here to help us out. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Anthony White, we'll roll up on some of these comments here before we get up out. He said, I don't want another QB. I gotta wait for being consistent. I want Kirk Cousins. He can run that offense day one because of familiarity. And with the other additions they make, it's a playoff team ASAP. I heard somebody on the coaching staff mention somewhat mobile. And Kurt is not mobile at all. Now, at times when he gets pressured and he has to get out the pocket, yes. Yeah. But
maybe they mean it like Matt Ryan mobile. You know?
Okay. Oh, Matt Ryan, when Coach Smith said he's working on his speed and he's getting faster at 37.
Matt could scramble a few yards if he needed to. You know what I mean? If it's 3rd and 4, he might get you 4. If it's 3rd and 8, he might get you 4. But he could scramble a little bit. Okay, maybe that. Maybe he was saying it's Matt Ryan-esque. I don't know. I have a question for you. I have a question for you, Chad. With Russell Wilson going to interview with Pittsburgh and the Giants, and most importantly, not interviewing with us, would you say that there's a good chance we still have the opportunity to sign him? Or would you say the writing's on the wall and he's probably going to be a Steeler? Like, what are your thoughts concerning that?
Same thing I've been saying. He ain't coming here.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've said it with respect of the fact of I'm from Atlanta, man. I know this fan base. I know this city. And I told y'all the other day, he wasn't even, there was no talks of him coming to Atlanta.
Yeah, you're right. You did say that.
It was the Broncos are going to release him. And the amount of people that tagged Future under that post to be just disrespectful. And some of the Falcons fan base just to say, oh, wait, this is going to be a good one. What was the point of it? I don't know, nor do I care. But I know what could happen if he does an interview here, if he throws an interception here. I saw how they treated Ritter. I saw how they treated Mariota. And I saw how they treated the great Matt Ryan. I seen it. And it's what have you done for me lately type of league. Am I right?
38. Yeah, it really is.
First interception or pick he throws, fans are on him. Media companies and outside entertainment, shade room and all this tea, they're going to be on it. He doesn't want to deal with it. Why didn't he come to Atlanta? Why didn't he say, you know what? That Atlanta team's looking good, man.
Good
Why
point.
Did he never did. Point. He's not coming to Atlanta.
Fair point.
So you can kick kind of Russell Wilson's out your conversation. Now, if it randomly happens, I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked. But I don't see it happening. I do not see it happening.
With that being said, then that means it's down to Cousins or Fields or our buddies in the draft, right?
Cousins, Fields, and the buddies in the draft. That's it.
Yeah. So
He said, "Damn, that's it." Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. You got Gardner Minshew.
ah, ah, you may as well throw Taylor Heineke out there. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Taylor, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we need a quarterback that's going to take us into the future. Because to be honest with you, Taylor Heineke in Washington against us was unbelievable. And you know what? To be fair, maybe he didn't understand the offense last year, because I've seen Taylor play a whole lot better than what he did when he started last year. A whole lot better. And maybe he didn't have command of the offense. Maybe he didn't have the command of the plays. I don't know what it was. So, maybe I should extend some grace to Taylor. So I'm sorry for saying that. But with that being said, sir, we need a guy that's going to get us there. And in my opinion, that's just not going to be Gardner. And it's not going to be Taylor, right? But as you often say, Jack, we don't play the game. We don't put our bodies on the line. So I should be respectful. So Taylor, I'm sorry. I could have put that in a different way. But bottom line is, yeah, it for me, it's got to be Fields or Cousins or one of the draft buddies, And I'm at the point, Jack, I might even take a JJ.
Mm-hmm.
I might even take a JJ if you can work with him. Hell, I might take Penix if you trade down.
Penix is definitely an option for a day 2.
Or if you trade up back into 1. We're at 8 now. Maybe you trade up back into 1 and you get him there. I'm okay with that.
Trying to see if there's any breaking news here. And wide receiver 2 is off the board. A guy that Falcon fans were thinking about. Kendrick Bourne is back with the Patriots. Bobby Wagner will be tested as well. So you have 2 of the NFL leading tacklers over the past couple years testing the market starting tomorrow. You have Devondre Campbell and Bobby Wagner. Falcon fans, for experience.
Mm-hmm. Wags plays in a 4-3, right? Wags plays in a 4-3, does he not?
Yeah, but from talking to NFL players, these players can adjust. They have that ability. Some players don't want to play in those type of systems.
Yeah.
But they can adjust if they have to, for whatever is needed. Yes.
How big is Wags?
Wags, haven't even checked his build, but I do know from compared to Devondre Campbell, he's not Campbell. He's not no 6 guys.
I like Devondre.
I'm more so Devondre Campbell. If I'm
me
going
too.
Back to
Because I feel like in a 3-4, your linebackers need to be bigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your linebackers need to be bigger because, and again, no disrespect to Dan Quinn, I think he's great, but we've seen.
We got a Commanders fan in here.
Wow. Okay. What's he
Commanders
saying?
fan. We don't check.
They're not giving up the number 2 pick. Hey, that's what I've been saying.
Commanders community. Nobody here is listening to Commanders radio.
That's what I'm saying. They're not trading that pick. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Thank you, Bacon Steve.
Bacon Steve is here in the chat, a Commander fan who's probably listening to Commander radio, listening to the journalists and the bloggers, how we look at D-Led and Myles Garrett and some of these guys. Bacon Steve does it on his side for his fan base. And he's telling us in the chat right now, hey, Falcon fans, guess what? We ain't giving up that 2, big dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I believe him. And I believe him.
Jaden Daniels, your Drake May, you better go get your goddamn Kirk Cousins because we not getting it up.
Agreed.
We keep saying that. A team ahead of you that wants their guy, why would they give it? Why would they answer the phone and say, Falcons want a quarterback? Come take our guy. We want a quarterback too.
Right. So then, all right, so now you can take off Chicago. You can take off Washington. You can take off New England. You better get them via free agency. You better get them via
Arizona at 4, looking like they want the next Marvin Harrison. They want the next Larry Fitzgerald for Kyle Murray. So now if Drake May and Jaden Daniels is gone and Caleb Williams is gone, Falcons, that's what we talked about. That's seeing the future and knowing that you might not get to 2 and 3 and get your guy. That's why the Kirk Cousins talk is being talked.
Yeah.
That's why the Fields talk is being talked.
And Kirk is loving it right now. Just
Kurt's enjoying it because Kurt knows right now Falcons can't get that 2 or 3, can they? Nah, it ain't happening. And also Kurt knows at his age, well, guess what? Baker just got 115 mil and he made it to the divisional playoff game. I almost had 5,000 yard season, and come on. We need to get at least one.
You know what? He may get his 50 million.
But we talked about this the other day in the chat. The projected that D-led mention was 118. Baker just got 115. Now I see it 40. As 125 now.
Yeah, that's 40 million, right? But that's it's 39 million, but 40, whatever. But for me, it starts at 40 now. If Baker Mayfield, and no disrespect to Baker Mayfield, he had a decent season last year. But there were 2 or 3 seasons before that where he just was not the greatest. If he is now getting 33 million, if I'm Kirk Cousins' agent, I'm sorry, I'm asking for 50. I might settle for 45. But I'm walking in the door tomorrow saying, hey, man, 50. Okay.
Which for the Vikings, they would say, well, Kurt, come on, Kurt, baby. You know us. You feel what I'm saying? You know us. Come on, man. 50 million. That's 50 million to them. But not 50. Hey, hold on. Matter of fact. Hey, Justin Jefferson. Hey, can you meet us at the office? We're gonna surprise Kurt on video chat. That's when the Vikings come in tomorrow and say, he told y'all that, but this is what he did for us.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? Their star receiver wants Kirk Cousins back. Their fan base wants Kirk Cousins back. If it may cost a Daniel Hunter, if it may cost them restructuring 15 people, they will do that to get Kirk. That's the one thing I'm looking at right now where it's like the Vikings ain't really making no moves right now in the beginning stages. They must be gearing up to just say, look, it's Kurt or no.
I think so. I think they are. I think that's a wise assessment. And why wouldn't they be, right?
I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow morning you see like 5 restructures from the Vikings.
Probably would.
First thing in the morning, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 restructures. I'm talking about not no 100,000. I'm talking about 15, 20 million restructures. 2 players and open up $30 million.
Agreed 100%.
And then that puts you where? Shout out to Six Goddess, our good friend in the chat. She asked about the Fields Cousins questions. That's where you're now forced to go make your trade now.
And I think the problem with that is going to be when Cousins signs. If Cousins doesn't sign with Atlanta, the minute you get the Bears GM on the phone, just know that price just went up.
I think, Terry, we're talking on the podcast right now at 9:33 when you know Terry, Raheem, and those guys are still at Flowery Branch or they're talking on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Raheem texting. Remember, they keep talking about it. Raheem keep texting Terry. They're talking about it right now. Like, look, I think, and this is not me saying it's going to be Fields. They're looking at it right now saying the Vikings know that they're going to resign Kurt tomorrow morning. We should go ahead and call Fields. That's where the Fields news comes in, where it's like Justin Fields is our next. How? Because we're talking right now Sunday night, and in 3 hours when this shit hits the fan, the Falcons already know, because we are not Rodell Jr., Ramel Peck, Justin Newman, Cheryl Gibbons. We love you all here on One Time for the Fan, but none of us are in the war room with the Falcons.
No, we're not.
We do know communication is being had. It's $1 billion business. They're getting ready to try to make this team go back to the playoffs. It's 9:33 at night with a couple of hours left before the free agency starts. You mean to tell me that these guys, the phone is silent? The phone is silent. That's it.
No.
There's no group chat. There's no Zoom
Absolutely
right now.
not.
Everybody's just they're watching the fucking Oscars right now. Is that what it is?
They probably haven't slept for days. Like I would imagine.
They're probably they've been on the phone for like 5 hours now.
Yeah, at least. It you know what? It's going to be interesting because you just don't know. But honestly, if we don't get Kirk, that price for Justin is going to go up. It might go Because right now, I think he could be had for a third rounder or a couple of third rounders and a fourth. But tomorrow, it may be a second round. It may
For the
be.
fans that believe, come on, Jack, you can't throw out that second and third round or that second and third option of the Patriots or the Commanders. Jack, it's still anything go. Any offers on the table?
Mhm.
Yes, but it's very expensive now.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If you're going to go, first off, I don't see it happening. I agree with the gentleman that came in this chat, and with the Patriots trading away their what would be their starter, because I don't think who's their guy now? Zeppy, whatever his name is.
They're
I,
they're
I
just
don't.
like us. They don't even know who their
Yeah, I
backup
don't.
is or
I
who their
don't.
starter
I
is.
don't see that. So they got to draft a guy, right?
Which now Jacoby Brissett and those Gardner Minshew's come into play, where some of these teams are going to go snag those backups
They're gonna have to.
and make it harder for us now to go snag a
They're gonna.
decent
They're
backup.
gonna. Which is why I agree with you when I say we should know something tomorrow and no later than Tuesday. I don't think
Yeah.
this thing is gonna linger because you can't afford to.
Yeah.
You cannot afford. You got to go in there, get your guy, do your business, and move forward, right? Or
Yeah.
heaven help you come draft time because, well, you know what? You're not going to get one of the top three. So it's either going to be JJ, Penix, or Bo Nix.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You
going
know,
down in a major way, Falcon fans. This is great when you can talk Falcons football with your Falcons friends. The chat is live, the chat is lit, and we are, like I said, we're pushing around 700 subscribers here. We want people to be energized about this podcast. We keep bringing more content to you all. We've done the giveaways. We're not going to do the giveaways again until the first group of people get their giveaways. USPS is behind tremendously.
they are.
I just actually got one of the gifts back to me that I had ordered, so that has to be shipped out. But yes, Carlton Bunch, Sterling Woods, Jordy Shepard, Diane Markham, and Cindy Schweingruber, your gifts will be definitely on your way to you shortly. And well, 2 has already been shipped out, but the other people, your gifts will be on the way to you shortly. Tanya King from the Rise Up Tour, your gift is leaving out tomorrow. Philip Benjamin from the Rise Up Tour, your gift leaves out on Tuesday. And then we have our other 3 winners from the other night: Raymond Collins, Berto, and Channing Briggs. You see how I have to remember all that shit? Like, you see how I have to remember this? Like, this is real deal podcasting. Like, I have to remember these names and what we do for them, because the giveaway was just phenomenal, having over 40, 50 people a part of this, giving away 5 winners there. And then we did 3 winners over there, and then a couple winners for the Rise Up Tour. And here's a big thing. Bacon Steve, I got to ask you a question too as well, because we're getting ready to talk about these fan groups. And I know Bacon Steve knows about this. The Sam Howell project didn't work out. So they are in need of a big time quarterback. And from what they say, they picking a quarterback is Daniels, has been the talk of the town. When you get fans from other communities in here, from other NFL teams, it opens up the eyes to fans in the chat and for us, because we're talking about the positives and we're moving up and we're doing this. And then a fan who's hearing things on his end for his team enters the chat. And it's like, let me bring you guys back to reality. Let me bring you guys back to earth just real quick. It's kind of like if we was going after Daron Payne last season and Bacon Steve was here. And Bacon Steve goes in the chat and says, hey guys, let me guys help you out. Daron Payne is staying in Washington. This is his home. This is his city. He loves it. They're going to give him everything. And there are Falcon fans in the chat say, no way, man. No, he's going to be a Falcon. Daron Payne stayed with Washington. Bacon Steve knows the news because he's in the Washington community. We are not in the Washington community.
We are not.
We want the 2 or that number 3 pick here in Atlanta. Bacon Steve is hearing from the Washington community that he focuses on, just like we do with the Falcons, that there is no trade up to 2, that Jaden Daniels is their guy, and they are not trading it. So Falcon fans, get a grip on what you're doing tomorrow morning, because you might not get your guy. I'd love to ask Bacon Steve about Kirk Cousins too as well in Washington, him being a Commanders fan. I'm sure he saw the ups and the downs of this guy. Would be great to know if he does land here, what type of quarterback we're getting. But Bacon Steve, you know about these fan groups too as well, because I know the Commanders has a fan group where they have like their songs and their chants, and they go on the road and they do their thing. Matter of fact, that guy who runs the group, I had a face off with him in Washington too as well. It's a funny story, Terry. You know how some fans are real diehard and passionate when you go on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, you bring your fan base and you're in somebody else's city. And of course, if your team is winning in somebody else's city, the trash talk starts to get more trashier. You know how it is. You know how it is. This is a regular season game. And we from out of town. But I remember this Washington Commanders fan, and I'm going to remember his name in a minute. Bacon Steve, you probably know who this guy is. But he has this big Commanders clock chain around his neck like Flavor Flav. He has a bunch of stuff around his neck. He was sitting close to the dream seats by the sideline. And he runs one of the fan groups too as well. But big shout out to him. But during the game, it was a back and forth, Terry. It was like he's repping for the Commanders and I'm repping for the Falcons. But he wouldn't let me have it that day. He represented well for the Commander fan base. For me, you know what I'm doing? I'm repping for the Falcons. But it got to a point where it was like, you see the passion from the fans about their teams just trying to win. And that was back in 2019. And then we get a chance to play Washington in Washington again this year. So chances are I might run into this fan again. But you see these fans, Terry, and they're passionate about their team. And when it goes to home games or away games, they have these fan groups where you meet up, you have these parties, you have these events, and the Commanders has a fan group. I don't know if Bacon Steve knows about it, but that dude who runs the group, Terry, it was a face-off for 4 quarters. Play for play. I'm sitting down. It could be touchdown Redskins. You hear him. He walking up to you, talking shit in your ear. I bet. Falcons won the game, so you know I'm talking hella shit. Got the big giant flag too as well. Oh, that was the NFL Network game. We had great NFL Network coverage.
Okay.
But you go to these cities, Falcon fans, you got to make a lot of noise. You got to
represent.
You got to represent. There's hostile environment at home, and you can create a hostile environment on the road. And for Falcon fans that do want to go on the road this year, check out the Rise Up Tour. We've been doing it for 6 years. We have a lot of away games this year. As you guys know, we have Washington on the schedule. We have Minnesota on the schedule. We have Denver. We have Vegas. And we have the away games. So for Falcon fans that want to be a part of something special, I'm talking about this is a real diehard fan, passionate, chaptered fan base. We have grown to the numbers of having over 1,200 people plus in the group. And the numbers continue to grow. We are in our membership period right now. We got our membership bags and swag kits going on. But if you want to go on the road this year, check out the Rise Up Tour. If you guys want to find out any more information about the Rise Up Tour, let me know. I'll go ahead and help you all out. But Terry, these fan groups, man, it's about having. What's up, babe? Thank you, love. It's about having. Yep, baby said. Yep, baby gave the thumbs up. Like that's it. That's the cue. These fan groups, man, they really bring a big part of the hostile environment. They bring a big part of, making noise on the road and supporting your team. And for those that do not know, the Falcons fans travel very well. So when we're on the road, we're making this noise this season. Just want to let y'all know the Rise Up Tour, what we've been doing, is great. So be a part of it, man. But big shout out to that Commanders president. I'm going to remember his name by the next podcast. And I don't know. We'll probably reach out to him and see if we can get some information on Kirk Cousins if we get signed over here. But Terry, this has been great tonight, man. Talking Falcons football with you, man. What are you ready for now after having this conversation tonight? About the quarterback, the free agency, the whole team. What are you ready for?
I just want the announcement to come, man. Let's find out if we're getting Kirk or not. And from there, okay, I'm assuming we pivot to Justin. And from there, we pivot to the draft. And all the while in the background, hopefully our plans to sign Kirk do not impede our plans to sign anyone else. Although you can't, it would have to, right? If you, let's say you got Christian Wilkinson over here for 20 million and Kirk for 40 and somebody else or whatever. If you don't sign Kirk, maybe you sign more. If you do, maybe you sign less. So either way, I'd like to know that and get that out of the way so that we can start, essentially going with plan B. Hopefully we can make the trade happen. Either way, I'm looking for it to happen quickly. So if we don't know by tomorrow morning, hopefully the next time the moon graces our sky or the sun crosses the earth, we know, right? I'm looking at no later than Tuesday. We need to know what Kirk's going to do so we can make the applicable move. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And maybe a few other signings. What about
Falcons
you?
fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a team that's ready to go compete and ready to go win. I know they're going to do the best they can to put the 53 on the field. I can't wait to find out who are going to be some of these members with the 53 in a matter of days, matter of hours, so forth, weeks, and going forward. Tomorrow night is going to be something special because we do feel like some type of news for the Falcons will happen tomorrow. Something, a restructure, a re-signing, a signing, something will happen for the Falcons tomorrow. And if it doesn't happen, well, it's just going to be a boring ass podcast talking with Eric Parker. And I don't think that's going to happen. But Eric Parker is our special guest tomorrow. Go over here and check this out. Eric Parker, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. I think you guys know who Eric Parker is. And Eric Parker wants to do a giveaway. That's what he said. He said he'll do one giveaway. You got to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Eric Parker has made that clear on the page. One time for the fan, we will do the giveaway. You have to go to Eric Parker's page on Facebook, hit done after you subscribe, but you have to go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We don't want to give away any type of gifts to somebody who's not subscribed to the channel. You do something for us, we do something for you. You feel what I'm saying? And it's free for you to subscribe, but it comes out of pocket when we, go buy our gifts and send them out to you all.
Give the gift. Yeah.
Give the gift that keeps on giving. And then on Wednesday, oh man. On Wednesday, we got diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, content creator, The Dixon Way, who will be joining us here on One Time for the Fan. A lot of y'all seen The Dixon Way in the chat. He covers the Atlanta Falcons. Also, he covers the Hawks too as well. He does a great job doing that. And The Dixon Way will be here talking Falcons football with us. He'll be here talking free agency with us. So now we have a pop-up show tomorrow night with Eric Parker. Right, Terry?
That's right. BLB.
That's
Be
Terry's
ready, BLB.
Brother. That's Terry's little brother, Eric Parker, too, as well. For those that do not know, that's Terry's
my
brother.
That's my big little brother because he's 6'2" and I'm 5'9". So he's BLB and I'm LBB, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see him. I just think it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead. You were saying?
You're good. This is what we all do it for. Yeah. Eric Parker tomorrow night, 8 p.m. The Dixon Way, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. And then, oh yeah, man. We got that man on the podcast Sunday night. Sunday night, 8 p.m. You want to talk Falcons football? Well, let's talk Falcons football. John Michaels.
Wow. Okay.
Now with 680 The Fan. John Michaels will be live here on One Time for the Fan talking Falcons football. Had a great conversation with John earlier. He is excited about the Atlanta Falcons. As you can see, he talks Falcons a lot. He is a Miami guy too as well. We will get some information from John on what he thinks is going to happen with the Falcons this season. There will be a couple moves made by Wednesday. So, of course, an intelligent guy like John coming to the podcast to talk Falcons football with us, it will have the fans excited. Oh, I'm sorry, not Wednesday, by Sunday. All that news is going to be happening for the whole week. And then John Michaels from 680 The Fan stops in with us to chop it up and tell us the whole week of chaos around the NFL and how the moves that the Falcons made this week will improve and what impact it can make going forward. So, Terry, we have Eric Parker tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We have a Wednesday show with the Dixon Way. Right? And then Sunday, I'm sorry, we do have our breakfast with One Time for the Fan on Friday.
Yep.
Our morning show, which is doing crazy right now. I didn't know that many people was up that early.
Yeah, me neither. Surprise.
The morning show is doing so well right now. We're going to continue it.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast with One Time for the Fan on Friday. We might have a special guest too as well for that. But Sunday, we are back on One Time for the Fan at 8 with
Mm-hmm.
John Michaels from 680 The Fan. So big shout out to everybody who's been supporting One Time for the Fan. I keep telling y'all, we will continue to bring this content. We will continue blessing you all with Falcon fans on the podcast and journalists on the podcast, and we get a couple of these players in the minute on the podcast pulling up. We're gonna make sure that fans really enjoy this period. Terry, as we get ready to wrap it up here for tonight, any shout outs, sir, for you?
Hey
and
man,
Falcons
first
fans?
off, thank God for waking me up this morning. Just praise him and thank him, and can't thank him enough. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. I want to thank the fans. Obviously, want to thank my family. Want to thank the fans in this chat specifically. Man, I love interacting with y'all, and y'all keep it entertaining. Y'all keep it funny. I'm enjoying it right now. And welcome, Bacon Steve. Welcome. Shout out to Bacon Steve. Shout out to you, sir. Again, as long as you keep having me, I'll keep coming back. Thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to many more. And that's all I have, sir. I defer to you.
Hey, Falcon fans, once again, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. That's all we ask that you all do. Tag your Falcons friends, tag your Falcons family. We love talking Falcons football. We're on Twitter. You see it right there at the bottom of your screen. Of course, we're on Facebook too as well. You see it at the bottom of your screen. Of course, YouTube as well, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Just Google us. One Time for the Fan. We are doing the best we can to make sure this Falcons community stays positive and engaged this whole off season. Tomorrow, it's going down in a major way. We'll see what we have to say. I'm ready, man. It's Falcons free agent Eve. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling, man. Terry, I thank you, sir. I'll see you back tomorrow night, 8 p.m.